Hello, everybody. SEIU. Thank you, Anna. I am so sorry that I can't be with you in Puerto Rico, but thanks for letting me say a few words to all of you. We scored a great victory yesterday in clinching the Democratic nomination, and it came because we embraced what I call Stern's first principle: organize, organize, and then organize some more. In communities all across America, we knocked on doors, we made phone calls, we registered voters, and mobilized Americans for the change our country so desperately needs. And at the heart of that effort was the purple-clad army of the SEIU. So I want to thank SEIU members across this country and in Puerto Rico for all you did in key primary and caucus states to help make yesterday possible. But I realize I'm still just a candidate. So it's a bit humbling to be addressing a crowd that includes a newly elected president. Congratulations, Andy, on your re-election. And thank you for your leadership. And thanks, Anna Bergen, and your officers, and International Executive Board. Your vision and commitment set the standard for organizing in this country. And I have to give a special shout out to my dear friend, Tom Balanoff, and all the leaders and members from my home state of Illinois, with whom I've worked so closely on so many issues that go to economic security of working families. Thank you for your support every step of the way. You know, yesterday marked the end of a long primary season. It was full of special moments and some tough ones too. But I have SEIU to thank for one of the best experiences I've had on this entire campaign. Some of you heard me talk about it when we were at a conference in Washington, and I know Anna mentioned it a few minutes ago. It came about when SEIU invited me and the other presidential candidates to spend a day with one of your members as part of a program called Walk a Day in My Shoes. The SEIU members I was paired up with was a home care worker named Pauline Beck. I don't know if Pauline's there, but she should be. She deserves a vacation in Puerto Rico. Let her go to the beach while you guys are all meeting. Now, this is a woman who wakes up each morning and goes to work to take care of an 87-year-old amputee. She makes his bed and gets him into his wheelchair. She makes his breakfast. She scrubs the floors and cleans the rooms. On top of that, she's also taking care of a grandnephew and 2 foster children who don't have a family of their own. And she does it all with good cheer, without a trace of self-pity, just glad she can be of service to somebody. And over these past few months, whenever our primary became more about politics and less about people, whenever we got caught up in the daily tit-for-tat, I'd sometimes think about the day I spent with Pauline, because it reminded me that for all the pettiness coming out of Washington, what holds this country together is this fundamental belief that we all have a stake in each other, that I am my brother's keeper, that I am my sister's keeper. It's the idea that led me to enter into public service more than 2 decades ago, that led me to turn down a job on Wall Street so I could work as a community organizer on the south side of Chicago and give job training to the jobless and hope to the hopeless after the local steel plants closed. It's the idea that's being lived out each day by the nurses I've met in Iowa, the corrections officers I've met in New Hampshire, the janitors I've met in Ohio, the home health care workers I've met in Florida. And it's the idea that's at the heart of this campaign. But we all know that for the past 8 years, there's been another very different philosophy in the White House. They call it the ownership society, but what it means is you're on your own. You're a worker who's been laid off from a job, tough luck, you're on your own. You're a single mom trying to find health care for your kids, tough luck, you're on your own. You're a senior whose pension got dumped after a lifetime of hard work, tough luck, you're on your own. It's not just that this administration hasn't been fighting for you. They've actually tried to stop you from fighting for yourselves. This is the most anti-labor administration in our memory. They don't believe in unions. They don't believe in organizing. They've packed the Labor Relations Board with their corporate buddies. Well, we've got news for them. It is not the Department of Management. It's the Department of Labor, and we are going to take it back. So, listen, SEIU, we don't have to wait for the verdict of history to know that the Bush years have been disastrous for hardworking families. And that is why we cannot afford to let John McCain serve out George Bush's third term. I honor Senator McCain's service to this country. I respect his many accomplishments, even if he chooses to deny mine. My differences with him are not personal. They're with the policies he's proposed in this campaign. Because while he legitimately touts moments of independence from his party in the past, that independence has not been the hallmark of his presidential campaign. It's not changed when John McCain decided to stand with George Bush 95% of the time, as he did in the Senate last year. It's not changed when he sides with George Bush and the business lobby to say no to workers' rights, no to organizing, and no to the Employee Free Choice Act. It's not changed when he offers 4 more years of Bush economic policies that have failed to create jobs at a living wage, or insure our workers, or help Americans afford the skyrocketing cost of college. Policies that have only succeeded in lowering the real incomes of the average American family, widened the gap between Wall Street and Main Street, left our children with a mountain of debt. That is not change. Change is building an economy that rewards not just wealth, but the work and workers who create it. It's understanding that struggles facing working families can't be solved by spending billions of dollars on more tax breaks for big corporations and wealthy CEOs. Change is a universal health care plan like the one I'm proud I proposed at a SEIU hospital. A plan that guarantees insurance to every American who wants it and brings down premiums for every family who needs it, and cuts costs for businesses and their workers by picking up the tab for some of the most expensive illnesses and conditions, and that stops insurance companies from discriminating and denying coverage to those who need it most, and makes sure that health care providers are properly compensated and have decent working conditions. That's what change is. Change is having a president who's walked with you on that picket line, who doesn't choke on the word union, who lets unions do what they do best and organize our workers, who speaks out when nursing home workers in Pennsylvania or New York or janitors in California are trying to organize or fight for decent pay and good benefits, and who will finally make the Employee Free Choice Act the law of the land. Change is bringing justice to the janitors, the farm workers, and the restaurant workers, and all the undocumented workers in our service industries, and finally putting them on a path to citizenship. It's doing what we've fought to do together, and make sure employers can check the legal status of workers in a way that doesn't result in ethnic discrimination or worker abuse. Change is finally having a president we can trust to pass comprehensive immigration reform once and for all. Si se puede. That's what change is. That's what change is, SEIU, and that's the choice in this election.